brakes in this truck today. Can you hear that? Bet you heard that. Oh, they bad. Look at that. That's very good. Alright, we're gonna do rear brakes on this. I'll show you what we got. Alright, we got the truck up. We're using quick jacks. If you're interested in something like that, leave a comment below. I'll make a video about it. Alright, we're here ready to do brakes on this. Let's open up the box. Asbestos pads, calipers, and here are my rotors. Busting through. Oh, that's cool. We'll have to add that to the collection. There. Very nice. Well, I guess we'll get going here. Get an air filter. Yeah, we definitely got some metal flakage going on there. Yeah, that pad is toast. And the rotor is toast. So usually what causes this is uneven wear. That's not too bad. I mean, it is a little bit off, but typically what causes that, if it's one side's wearing more than the other, it's a sticking guide pin or a piston. That'll do it. Alright, let's get her ripped off here. First thing I like to do is to crack the bleeder loose. This is a 11 millimeter on this truck. I just want it to be loose, and then snug it back up just a little bit so it don't leak. It's just easier to break that loose now while the caliper is already attached. Now we're not gonna have to break this one down and get the bracket because the new caliper came with the bracket. Let's see here, new caliper, make sure you compare it to the old one. This is single piston. Could have upgraded it, I suppose. This one is kind of painted already. These are AC Delco. I believe they should be rebuilt. That's why there's a core charge. So make sure you got your two copper gaskets right there. You'll be needing those. So I got a half drive ratchet, 18 millimeter socket, and an old jack handle here that makes a great breaker bar. look at that right there. Get torn boot, torn seal. So yeah, so it probably wasn't able to retract. This pad's pretty worn down too. You see it's almost to the squealer on this side. So it is getting there. It was time. I'd wait to take this off until you get everything on. Rotors come right off. You can see back here also this is all rusty because the parking brake isn't even. There isn't even one. What do you think? We missing something? Parking brake assembly is completely off. Wow, that's messed up. This is a good trick when you are getting new rotors. You've got to clean them because there is oil on here, and you do not want the oil to stay on there. The oil is put on there from the factory to keep them from flash rusting before you get them. So we're gonna go ahead and spray this down with some brake clean. Alright, something to check. If you've seen my other rear brake or front brake video for my 2500 HD, you can see one of the brackets that came with it was incorrect. So just make sure that these brackets look like they're okay and they won't interfere with your guide pin seals. Pads I'm using are asbestos. I've had good luck with them. They're definitely budget friendly, and you know, they do a good job. They're not the cheapest, but they're also not the most expensive, which would be unnecessary for this vehicle. As you can see, it's pretty much just a winter beater at this point and just a driver. So both of these are the same except for the squealers, so what you have to do is make sure that you put them on the right side. This here is what I would recommend, something like this. It doesn't have to be this brand, it just needs to be a lubricant for your pads. I like to use disposable paint brushes, a little bit on the back of one of them, and then use that to get up in there. Make sure your brackets are greased right here. Okay, slide your pads in. And what else you kind of want to do is get a little bit of stuff right here. You can put it on the pad or you can put it on the caliper. If you put it on the caliper, that's where the contact's going to be made, so you'll be fine. Sometimes if you put it on the pad, it ends up everywhere else. In the threads and your bolts, caliper bolts here. Let's get all that gunk out of there. Looks like someone put anti-seize on there. You don't want to do that. What you do want to put on is some blue thread locker. Once you get your bolts ready, your caliper ready, you can just slide it on there. That. Line up your bolt holes back here and one of your bolts with the blue thread locker on it. Something else that you should make sure of is that you're using the right caliper on the correct side. You see the bleeder is up here. If your bleeder is down here, then it's on the wrong side. The bleeder needs to be on the top. Okay, so you're going to want to torque these bolts I'll put up some torque specs here for this vehicle. Make sure to check it on your vehicle. It could be different from year to year. This one's a 2000, and these bolts back here are 148 on this truck. And now what's next is pulling off this guy. Oh. Wow, this plug is really in there. Okay, there we go. I didn't want to drop them and get them dirty, but that's how I wanted to play. So make sure you hold on to these guys. You need 2 of them. That's what you're going to want to have handy. Hooker tool, and I also like to have an old file handy, and I'll show you why here in just a second. So the bolt, if you're reusing your bolts, you gotta get this little copper gasket off of here. And it can be a tough one sometimes. That's why little tools like this work great. And then what I like to do is I'm trying to flatten this edge right here just a little bit. It'll help it seal better. There we go. Pretty good. Get that crud out of there. And get your new copper washer, seal, whatever you want to call it. Hold on to it for a second. So this is the brake line, and it is not, the other one is not stuck on here, so that's good. We don't have to use the hooker tool to get it off. Flatten her out just a little bit here, take out that rust, the corrosion. It's going to go on like this, so put your bolt in, and then grab your second copper washer, put it in there like that. And the torque on this is 18 foot-pounds. Double check what your truck is. Just let that dry and evaporate, and then come back and check for leaks. Double check the torque on these two. On my truck, I think it's 33. And now what we'll do is we'll remove this bleeder screw rubber nipple, and then you just open this guy up a little bit, and eventually the fluid will come through and push all that air out, and we'll close it up, and then we got to bleed the brakes, of course, after we do the other side. Alright, there you go. As soon as you get done torquing all your bolts and bleeding your brakes, you're ready to put your wheels back on and go out there and do some stops and get your brakes warmed up and get those pads nice and seated. It's a real simple job, and it's really easy on these trucks, so it's a good thing to go out there and practice and work on your own vehicle, get your stuff done on a budget. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Bald Eagle content, because you never know what I'm going to be fixing next. Later.